Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Newsgram. In the previous edition of Newsgram, we talked about mathematics and how math is everywhere. And I want to reflect on that concept for just a minute, because finding a lost item or tracing your steps to find something you've lost is kind of like solving a little puzzle. Listing clues, testing possibilities, and then working it all out one step at a time. And for Maisa Samman, that idea became the spark for her book, Where is Teddy?
And it was for a math class where we had to come up with a children's story based on mathematical concepts and prepositions. So that was really where I got the idea from. But really, obviously the idea came from, my own childhood experience of losing a favorite toy and really trying to find it.
And it's a great concept because who can't relate to that? Whether it's your keys or your phone or something else, we can all relate to the idea of trying to find something we've lost. Maisa has taken it to a new level and kind of put an enchanted spin on it with a lovable lost teddy bear.
Little Mona, she's lost her teddy. She's going on an adventure in her home. There's no limits for her. She's just going into every single room and just trying to recall every single place that she would possibly have left him. But, he just keeps running off. And even us as adults, sometimes, you got to retake your steps and where did I put this? Where do I go? Do I have to go back in this room and go back in that room and trying to find what I'm looking for?
It's a feeling that's almost universal, the mix of frustration, curiosity, and hope. Back in 1995, Pixar released its very first entirely computer-animated feature film. It was called Toy Story, and it wasn't just groundbreaking technology. It was the first time so many of us stopped to wonder, hey, what really happens to our toys when we're not looking? Well, that simple idea planted something magical in our imaginations. Suddenly, it didn't seem so far-fetched that a toy wasn't just misplaced. Maybe it had a life of its own, and maybe, just maybe, it wandered off on an adventure of its own.
Yeah, I guess I was low-key inspired by Toy Story. Do my toys come alive when I do sleep? I've got to keep an extra close eye on them. Where do they go during the night or I'm not around? Are they really moving when I'm not around? She doesn't even remember where she put Teddy, so maybe he's the one that's, walked off.
She says what began as a 12th grade math project eventually grew into a children's book incorporating mathematical concepts. Over time, it also became a project that helped her heal. Finishing the book wasn't just about checking off a box on her bucket list. It was a way to reclaim her sense of purpose and joy during an incredibly difficult time.
You know what? I had Where is Teddy just in an old, it was like a scrapbook, and I had it on a shelf, and I used to take it when I used to work in childcare, so I would take this draft book and I'd read it to my students in childcare, and they loved it. And then, I've just recently gone through a separation, and it's a very stressful separation, so I was like, you know what? This is on my bucket list. I've always wanted to just see my name on the shelf in the bookshop, I've always had this dream of publishing this book. So I focused my positive energy into creating this book and finally publishing it. And it's just an amazing sense of achievement. And I really want to share this achievement with other people, people that are struggling, single mums or anyone that's going through a difficult time. Focus your energy on something positive that you're proud of and something that you created, which is what I did.
Yeah, there's no hiding that when you read the book. The cover is very simple. Just the words, Where is Teddy? And a series of question marks. But inside, it's very different. That's where the real magic happens.
I just hope that it invokes the sense of mystery, adventure, curiosity, the fact that they have that option that they can join along with the sentences and they can join in, for example, if you're reading it individually to a child or with a classroom, if you're a teacher, they can all join in, and then that you've got that, all the children joining in unison, reading this book, and they're just wanting to know, just where is Teddy? Where is he hiding?
Can you hear that? A whole classroom full of children gathered around for story time and yelling, where is he? Where's Teddy? I love that.
And I'm just proud of Mona in my own book because she's doing it on her own. She's searching for it on her own without any assistance.
A bit of hide and seek, a little detective work, and some basic math to try and uncover the mystery behind this cheeky little mischievous bear and its owner, little Mona.
Well, Mona's actually one of my auntie's names. She's very special to me. And I've always liked that name, and I found it a very, It's like a simple, very feminine name, and it's just cute. And I just thought, I want to sort of, name my character after my auntie.
And that's another element that makes this story feel so personal and so full of heart. If you have little ones at home, I'd say 3 years or older, or maybe you know somebody that would enjoy Where is Teddy by Maisa Samman. It's now available pretty much all over the internet.
Yes, you can also find it on the publisher website, so exlibris.com.au or exlibris.com. Or I also have my own social media, which is Made by Maisa, so MADE_BY_Maisa, MAISA. So you can find me on Instagram too. You can order directly from me or from the Ex Libris website.
If you didn't write that down, don't worry about it. We've got links for you in the show's notes. And if you've ever misplaced something important, you're definitely going to be able to relate to Mona's search. That will do it for this edition of Newsgram from webtalkradio.com. Thanks for listening.